So welcome back to another edition of Century 21 Preferred Training. And today we're talking about contract to close buyer edition. So if you've been to one of our previous trainings, you saw that we actually covered the contract to close seller edition. And they're actually two starkly different transaction sides that we want to make sure that you're very familiar with. I had actually went back and seen an email from Rebecca, and I was just cleaning out my inbox, and one of our agents had actually asked the question, says, do you have a checklist of like everything that we're supposed to do for a transaction if we represent a buyer? And I never actually responded to that email because I missed it when I was cleaning out my inbox. I was like, mercy. And this has actually been on my calendar for some time. So that agent who had that question, hopefully they're able to come back and watch this here. And now we'll be able to provide, again, for all of our agents, a list of what you need to know when it comes time to opening a transaction to closing a transaction on the buyer side. It's different from the seller side. And so we want to make sure that you're really that you're well informed as to how that process works. All right, so without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and throw this on my screen. Believe it or not, we've actually had a training on this, but it was an entire year ago. I was checking my notes, and it says that it was April 17th, I believe, of 2020. So a lot's changed since April of 2020. And I want to make sure that every year we're updating these documents, because as the transactions change, as documents and disclosures change, we want to make sure that you guys are abreast as to how you can serve your clients and making sure we're not missing anything. So let's go ahead and drop this on the screen real quick for everybody so you can see it. There we go. Contract to close, the buyer edition. So let's zoom in just a little bit here for you all so you can see it. We're going to start right here at the top portion. Again, I welcome any and all of your questions and your comments. Feedback is critical because we don't want to miss anything in this training. Okay, so first and foremost, now the beginning stuff seems a little bit easy. So I've got Perveen, I'm picking on you because you're my agent that I see here in the training. Why would it be important to have a buyer consultation? If you could just give us a summation of what you would do in a buyer consultation and why it is important.
You want to know if you are, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so you need to know if they are qualified to buy it, they have the money.
Mm-hmm.
And they're buying with you, not with the other agent.
Oh, good one, good one. Mm-hmm.
And
anything else?
I don't know.
All right. Well, I thank you so much for sharing as you did, Marisol. We want to thank you for joining us as well. As Marisol is jumping on in, we're talking about the contract to close, the buyer's edition, and why it's important for a buyer's consultation. So as you go down this checklist, you will be, again, putting, Felipe, you've got your hand up?
Yeah, man, I wanted to chime in on this. Is that cool?
Absolutely.
Okay, so buyer's consultation, the main point of this is really for me to kind of set the stage of expectations with that client. I want to find out what their motivation is, what their time frame is, and what is the expectation like of me, of the house, of them, because the last thing I want is for them to kind of talk amongst themselves, and say, I don't think Felipe is doing a good job because our offers are not getting accepted right now. So if I can have the time to do a consultation, I explain to them what's going on in the market so that they understand that, look, we're not going to get the first offer accepted. It's going to be tough out there. This is what's going on. It's going to take some time, but I don't want you to get discouraged. Things like that. So setting expectations to me is huge.
Absolutely critical piece. I'm so glad that you brought that up, Felipe, and shared that with everyone, because there was actually he was an insurance rep, and he came into our office and he said that his goal was going to be to exceed our expectations. But in order to do that, he needed to know what we expected. So in order for us to exceed our clients' expectations, we need to know what are they expecting, right? And so as Felipe said, we need to know what they expect from us. They need to know what to expect from we need to know what to expect from them. They need to know what to expect from us. And again, that's having that conversation, asking those questions and letting them know what's going on in our market right now. Because, you know, our market a year ago is not the same market that it is today. And so it's taking a little bit more time now for agents to get their offers accepted than it was, you know, a year ago, because we have much less inventory. All right. So just kind of going down this list right here, the consultation, typically I would tell you to spend about an hour. Get to know your clients a little bit better, because this may be an up desk call, may not be a friend or a family, but even if it's a friend or a family, you don't want to assume that you know what someone wants or expects of you. Now there's some agents out there that like to use this little guy right here. And so this is totally up to you. It's an optional agreement that you can choose to use, the buyer broker agreement, but that would protect you should they, for instance, decide they wanted to go and work with another agent. I sit down with my clients, have a very clear understanding of what I'm supposed to do for them and what I expect from them. And I personally don't need to use, or I personally haven't used this in the past, but it does have value, which is why it's created. So if it's something that you feel that you need to use to secure your clients so they don't go working with another agent, I highly encourage you. The documents there in your zip forms, go ahead and utilize it. Of course, you need their information, name, email, phone numbers, addresses, all of these things so that you can do what with that. What do you need? Where are you going to put that information? Name, email, phone number, and address. Talk to me, Marisol. Where are you putting that information?
I'm sorry, I don't have the answer.
No worries. We got it for you, Marisol. The answer, of course, we're looking for is our what? Our CRM. We want to put it in that new KV core system that just came out. So hopefully you guys are on the training today and will be for the next 4 weeks so that you can keep track of who is working, rather who are your clients and how to keep track of them. All right, of course, we talked about setting expectations and then right there at your buyer consultation. So you don't have to do this with a seller, but you do need to do this with a buyer. And that's going to be this little portion right here. Do you want to show any properties? Marisol, we got you another question. You're going to get this one right. Do you show properties to clients that have not been pre-approved?
No,
Why not?
because you need to, I think you gotta know if they're gonna be able to afford it.
Absolutely. What are you able to afford? A lot of homes are actually even requesting not only that your PV be sent to them prior to showing a home, but also a pre-approval. So if your client hasn't taken that first step, basically, in purchasing a home, then unfortunately you need to be able to communicate to them that we can't do anything until we have that done. And I would encourage you, make sure that you're treating everyone with the same type of professionalism. So if one person needs to be pre-approved, doesn't matter if it's your brother, cousin, sister, nephew, you want to make sure that everyone is pre-approved before you go out and show them any properties, okay? Keep the standard the same for everyone. All right, the next thing that you need to know is what they're looking for, okay? So as you'll see here, we're gonna just take this off so I don't have too much, so that everything's not yellow, so we can actually distinguish one from the other one, is this guy right here, criteria for a new home. Now, agents out there, Perveen and Marisol, I'm picking on you because you're my two agents that I see on my screen. Do either one of you currently have right now like a checklist or a criteria that you utilize for a new home, for clients in their new home search? Like how many bedrooms, how many baths? Do you have a checklist already in place that you use?
No,
Marisol says no. What about you, Perveen? The silence on the other end, we're going to just assume that the answer for that, unfortunately, is no. And so guess what? In today's training, not only do we have this wonderful checklist for you, we've came fully prepared. We also have for you all, check this out. You're going to get all of these in an email, all right, when we finish up. Boom. You see what we got on the screen right now? What does your dream home look like? This is another document that we've created for you. And so what you want to do with this document is ask the questions that are simply already here. How much do you want to spend? What's the maximum monthly mortgage that you want to pay? Have you spoken with a lender? Have you been pre-approved? And then you're going to go through here and put in what areas they're looking to buy, bedrooms, bathrooms, garage, year built, square footage, location. And some pretty cool things over here is how soon is that going to be happening? You see that there in yellow on your screen. How soon is that happening? ASAP, 6 months from now, whatever the case may be. The condition of the home. Are they seniors? Do they want an HOA? Any special considerations? So this document right here, we've made for you. So you'll get this also in your inbox. So please be on the lookout for it, because as some of you have mentioned, you don't have this. And so when you sit down at your buyer consultation, this is a document that you're going to use so that you can have the conversation and make sure that all the questions have been asked. Does that make sense? Joyce, do you have something like this already in place? I see Joyce just joined me.
I just joined you and I'm not even sure. I can't even see what you're showing me. I'm in line getting my second vaccination.
All right.
So I
Joyce.
thought I'd join.
Well, thank you so much for joining us again. We're just talking about the buyer's checklist, basically, of what does their dream home look like: bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, and so forth, so that we can keep that on record during our buyer consultation. All right. So I just wanted to show that to everyone. It is something, again, that we are providing to you so that you can have it, because as some agents have mentioned, they don't have that already. And now you're going to have it in your toolkit so that you're prepared to have that consultation. Get all the questions answered right up front. It's great to be able to sit down as a professional, ask all the right questions, get the answers that you need so that you can properly exceed your client's expectations. Okay? Everybody follow me on that one right there? Any questions so far? Silence in the room. All right, all right. So, question for you. All right, we're moving down here to the next checkpoint is review buyer upfront costs and EMD, inspections, appraisal, closing costs. What is the average cost for a home inspection? Joyce, Perveen, Marisol, anyone take that one for me. Average cost for home inspection right now. Picked on 3 people at the same time and no one answered.
350?
350. Thank you, Joyce. All right, about $350, $400. Okay. Now, is that money that is included in your client's loan, or is that where does that money come from?
The buyer.
Buyer. So that's not a part of their loan. That's going to be separate closing costs. Okay, very good. Now a question for you here. Your EMD, your earnest money deposit, is that a portion of the total down payment of the home? Yes or no, Marisol?
Oh, wow. We went over that 2 days ago.
Ah,
I think it is.
oh, there we go.
I think it is,
Right
yes.
answer. Right answer. Very good. Very good. The answer is correct. It is a part of their total down payment for the home. And that's something that you want to communicate to your clients when they're sitting down to what their cash to close is going to be. So if they're going to put down $5,000 in their earnest money deposit and they need a total of $20,000, then there's only $15,000 that's left for them to put down on their home. Everybody follow me there? You want to be able to adequately
Yes.
explain that to your clients, because a lot of them are confused and don't actually understand that. I've sat down with many clients and they say, well, so is this a part of, do I have to find more money to cover the different? Everything is included in that earnest money deposit, rather, is included in your total down payment for your home. That's apart from what? Apart from your closing costs. That includes your home inspection and the other types of inspections that you might do, and various other associated fees and for the loan, the escrow, and so forth. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're having that conversation and explaining that to your clients right there. Okay. So in this current climate that we're in, just had a conversation with a client this morning, and so someone help me with this one right here. When we're writing a strong offer, we're going to go ahead and highlight that one for you guys so you can see it. Would that include asking for buyers, seller to cover any closing costs? Would you consider that a strong offer if your buyer asked a seller to pay closing costs on their behalf? Felipe's got his hand up. Yes, sir.
Yeah, am I good?
Yes, sir.
All right, so it's not just necessarily about is it or is it not a strong offer, right? So if they're asking for certain things, It's more about having the conversation up front with the buyer about the state of the market. Again, just reiterating, if it's a strong market, seller's market, and they're probably going to get lots of offers, and it's not common practice right now to ask for any closing cost assistance or for the seller to pay for certain things. The reality is, the more things that you can pay versus the seller, the more attractive your offer looks. How bad do you want this house?
Great answer, perfect answer from our broker and president, Felipe. So thank you so very much. How bad do you want this house? Right now, we're seeing agents that are simply writing the offers with only thing I saw with the most recent one that we accepted, they asked for the natural hazards disclosure report. They didn't ask for anything else. All right. And fortunately for them, that's the one that my client actually went ahead and accepted and moved forward with it. They weren't asking for much. So strong offers, especially in this market right now. Don't let your client try to convince you, even if it's an investor, to go under ask. Everything should be at ask or above. If you really want to, again, you're having this conversation with your client. Say, oh, I'm looking for a really good deal. Marianne, are there any really good deals to be had right now in our market? No, she's shaking her head.
Unfortunately, actually, I'm getting a listing that's going to be a good deal, but it's relative because it's a total fixer.
There we go. Total fixers. That's about the only deal that you may see right now. And that's going to that might cost you $20, $30, $40, $50, $80,000, depending on how much work needs to be done in that. So in that, what we would call a deal. So right now, we're not seeing that take place. So strong offers are at or above asking price. You want to make sure that your clients have what you see on the screen, POF, proof of funds, that you're sending that with your offer. You can show them that this, yes, we have not only a pre-approval, but the funds that go along with our closing costs and down payment. All right. So everybody follow me right there. And while you're at your buyer consultation, I want to make sure that you guys go ahead and complete your PV. Knock that out. Leave the address blank because you can change that as you need to per the address that you're going to see. All right. Everybody follow me there. And last portion on our consultation is setting them up with, and we're just getting this is just live. So the KV Core platform, you know, we used to use another platform where we could see what they were searching. There's Zillow out there and all types of apps. You want to see what your clients are looking for. So you want to set them up in your CRM, that new KV Core system, so that you can watch what they're doing. You can see that they were on there on your app and that they were checking 2 hours ago, 5 hours ago, yesterday, whatever the case may be. So you can guide them and say, hey, I saw you were interested in this property. When would you like to show it? When would you like me to show it to you? Okay. So setting all of this up. That's why it's going to take you at least an hour to sit down and have this conversation with your client so that they're up to speed as to what takes place during the purchase of a home and you are seeing what they need. All right. So that's going to take care of basically your buyer's consultation and everything that you're going to be covering there. Once you're done with that, you want to input everything that they've got, all their search criteria that you've collected into the MLS, send that out so that they can start seeing those properties. You want to be seeing what they can comment on this also on the MLS. There's ways for them to comment and like properties well. So you have two different platforms, your KV Core platform, as well as the MLS. So you're communicating with them what they're seeing in real time. All right. Last but not least, if you haven't already done it, this right here, you are building a database. So where it says right there, and I'm going to highlight this as green because that means it's money. All right. Input the buyer into your CRM. You want to be names, addresses, emails, phone numbers, all of that, so that you can communicate with them in the future. Because you want to ask for what? What are you looking for when you close this deal? It starts with an R. Can someone give me the magic word that you're looking for? Even when you're in contract, what are you looking for as a real estate agent? Starts with the letter R.
References.
References and referrals. There we go. We're looking for more business. So that's why you need to keep them in your CRM, is to build out your business. Cool. Let's move right along into the escrow and the home purchase process. This is where Rebecca starts chiming in, I'm pretty sure. All right. You're going to go out, you're going to preview homes, you're going to write some offers. Okay, that's the next step that you're going to do. In that purchase contract, these are the disclosures that go with it automatically. And this is what you want to send. It makes it easy. It shows that you're a professional. You didn't miss anything. You don't just want to send your AD and your RPA. You want everything that we have put together for you right here so that you don't miss it. When you're creating a zip form, you can actually make sure that that's in there. I'll highlight it this color right there so you can see it. All of that goes with your offer. Did I miss anything on that, Rebecca? Do I got everything covered?
So let me see. Hold on.
AD, FHDA, PRBS, WFA, Buyer's Inspection Advisor, CTPA, and SBSA. Send all that.
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. I had to come to a different computer. So purchase contract, AD, PRBS, wire fraud, RPA, BIA, CCPA. Those are great. You don't have to include the SBSA. That's a plus. But if you guys are going to prepare everything, have all of that, your key mold independently affiliated. If you guys are doing dual agency or you think that you might be doing dual agency, please make sure to get that disclosed up front as well. One of the things I wanted to also mention is that when you guys are on the buyer side and you guys are submitting your offers, if you're using a TC, whether it's myself or someone else, please send over the PDVs and the approvals. I don't see those coming in as part of a package. Yeah, you submitted it to your listing agent when your client went to view the property, but we have to have that for the transaction that was accepted. We do not need to have your 20 PEDs for the 20 houses that you had to take your buyer to go look at. You guys should be keeping that. All we care about is the PDV for the property that you guys went into escrow for. Please make sure that there's only one address at the top. We are no longer taking PEDs with a bunch of addresses on there. And then also what I'm seeing a lot of is on the PEDs, there's a signature line and then there's initials. If you guys read the bottom part says it's not required, but yet that's what I'm getting. And the actual initial or the actual signature section is being left blank. So please scroll through your DigiSigns, your DocuSign, your eSign, your AuthentiSign, whatever you're using, please scroll through. Don't assume that the system's automatically placing those signatures there. Because for example, the CCPA does not auto put your client's signature box there. So those are little things that are being missed. The other thing regarding the purchase agreement is page 10 must be completed. Please, you guys, we're kicking back a lot of purchase agreements that page 10 is not completed. Buyer agent submits the offer. You guys should be putting that stuff in there. If you see listing agent come back and it's empty, please kick it back to them to put in their address, whatever information is missing on that page 10, because we do need to have that.
Excellent so much. And as you've noticed there, as Rebecca was sharing with us, I've actually included that in the document. This is a live document. That's why we're here together collaborating so that we can make sure that we're all on the same page. And so I've added those two there so that you can know when you send this over to where it says hire a TC, we all encourage you to do that. When you hire that TC, that fully executed contract includes your PDV, the pre-approval, and making sure that that last page of the RPA is completed and that there's nothing missing. No reason for them to kick it back. We've already done our due diligence and double check that everything is correct. Everybody follow me on that one there? Spot on. Very good. After that, the fun part starts. You get to open escrow. Escrow, whoever you're using should have some form of a transaction checklist. So you want to make sure that you're providing to escrow all of that information that they need so that they can get this get it started as well. We've got somebody sharing in the chat. Oh, Felipe is bringing it to us, and he says, take your time. Don't be sloppy. I love it. You know, there's fillable forms that are out there where you can type everything in. All of our handwriting is not the sharpest, okay? So if you can find a way you can type that bad boy in there so it's nice and clean, because you know when you receive something back and you're like, I can't read this, right? For sure. You don't want someone else to have the same experience. All right. So if you can, type those out in a fillable form so that it's easy to read for escrow and for your TC and for all parties that are going to be involved in this transaction. Okay. It's on the screen. Perveen, how many days do I have to get in my EMD? She's muted, but she's wording it to me. And so
3 business days.
3 business days. So we've always asked this question. We ask it over and over and over again, the same way every time. If I open escrow on Friday, what day do I have until to get my earnest money deposit in? 5 p.m. of what day?
What?
Mary Ann, my experienced agent tells me we have until Wednesday because Friday is day 0. Saturday, Sunday do not count. We've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 5 p.m. on Wednesday to get that bad boy over to escrow. All right, making sure that we're clearly explaining that. Yes, go ahead, Mary Ann.
Have you heard of the new changes? Saturdays are soon to be business days. I know.
No, didn't hear that new change. And when is that coming about? Or have you heard?
A couple weeks. They're going to roll it out with the new RPA.
Okay.
Yeah, so Saturday will be counted as a business day. It's going to change a lot, some of our lives.
Mm-hmm. So I hope everyone's paying attention to that. Take note, the new RPA is scheduled to come out in June, I believe it is. So we're just about a month and a half away from there. So be aware of what's going on. That's why we encourage you to come to these trainings to see what's happening so that you're giving your clients the latest and greatest information so that you, again, can exceed their expectations. All right. So thank you so much for that, Mary Ann. I hope everyone else is taking good notes on that as well. Moving right along, we've got your seller's disclosures. They're going to bring those in 7 calendar days. So that don't have to worry about that changing because the calendar is going to stay the calendar. All right. To get in everything, SPQ, TDS, and this right here. See right here where I've highlighted 100%, and I'm going to go ahead and we're just going to change the color on it because I don't want you to miss this because this is our responsibility as well, is to make sure that it is 100% complete. Take your time on the SPQ and the TDS. If they answered yes on the SPQ or TDS, what must they do, Marisol?
I don't know.
Not a wrong
Sorry.
answer at all. Very good. Marisol is going to learn like all of us. And so help me out, Marianne. If we answer yes, what happens?
We have to provide an explanation.
That's right. So all you're looking for on the buyer side is that if the box is checked yes, that they've written an explanation down there. That's all you have to do. All right. Hopefully it's legible and we can all read what it says. All right.
I want to kind of interrupt right here. It is the agent's responsibility to review the SPQ and TDS. If you are using a TC, it's not their job to make sure that things are marked, that it's accurate. You guys have been to the property. If there's a stove, if there's not a stove, if there's screens, is it septic? You guys are the ones that know. You might not know everything, but you've been to the property. It's your responsibility to review the SPQ and TDS, whether you represent the buyer or the seller. You guys have to review that. Me personally, I am not going to send out an SPQ and TDS to have signed if I do not have an email from you guys saying, these are good to go. I reviewed them. I went over them with my client or whatever it is, how you guys work. You guys have to do that. If you're using Glide, and Glide is a tutorial that helps them complete the SPQ and TDS. Glide is not an agent. Glide doesn't know if they answered it right or wrong. It is still your responsibility to review it. So please, 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 you guys will save so much time going back and forth because seller didn't disclose or they missed a box or whatever. Between your client's eyes, your eyes, my eyes, the other TC, the other agent, you have all these eyes looking at it. If something's missed, it will get kicked back. So just kind of keep that in mind, you guys. Those have to be reviewed.
Great job, great job. SPQ, question mark. Mary Ann, you have a question mark?
Seller property question.
Marisol, I'm sorry, I read
Yes,
this,
it's
I
me.
read this, I read the wrong name. That's Marisol, yes. Seller property questionnaire, and then TDS is transfer disclosure statement. Those are the two documents that you're gonna get from the seller that they have provided to disclose all the material facts that they know regarding that property to the buyer. Okay? So that's what those two documents are. SPQ, I believe, is 4 pages and TDS is 3 pages. Okay? So just be familiar with that. If you haven't seen them, go into your zip forms, Marisol, type in SPQ, type in TDS, read through it, see what they're going to be filling out.
Forms. Yeah, read your forms.
Okay? Very important. They say that realtors don't read. Don't let that be you.
They don't.
You read. We know you guys
don't.
read.
I'm proof. They don't read it.
Don't listen to Rebecca. We read. Moving along, there's also other disclosures that are going to be coming your way. And so you want to be familiar with those. The WCMD, all right, the WHSD, MCA, these are just standard that you're typically going to see coming your way from the sellers. So just be familiar with those forms. We're not going to go over each of those individually in this training. That's what this is for you to go back and check it, understand what it is so you can explain to your client what it is they're signing, what's being disclosed to them. There's an environmental hazards booklet receipt. That's that 180-page booklet that they're going to get from the sellers. You want to explain to them what they're signing that they have received. They should get a termite report, some nature, even in this climate right now. Termite reports I still encourage. So you want to be able to, if you haven't seen a termite report, yeah, I'll get to that, Felipe. Thank you so much for adding that. Very good. It was not on here. The termite report, you want to make sure that you're reviewing it and sharing it with them. NHD report, how to read an NHD report, and that brings us right into what Felipe was talking about, the HHDA and the wildfire new disclosures that are out there. We need to add that because you're going to be receiving those. The home hardening disclosure advisory is the HHDA, and then the wildfire one as well, if it applies. So that one there, I've got to add those in here. So just like that, because this is live, we can do that. Look at that, guys. And then I forget the wildfire, but I'll get it fixed. I just put that in there for us. So when you get this, it'll all be cleaned up, and don't worry, but we put that in there for you guys. All right, we're actually going to do a class coming up here pretty soon on the prelim, because I know maybe new agents don't know how to read a prelim, don't know what's said there. So we'll have a title rep coming in. That's going to be something you want to be able to explain to your buyer as well, or at least kind of guide them through it. The listing agent is going to provide their AVIT. You want to read through that, and any other brokerage disclosures that they'll have coming from their side. Every brokerage is unique. And then last but not least, if it's applicable, it may have an HOA. And there's a whole bunch of HOA docs that are going to be coming their way as well, that they need to know. They need to review all of these things before they sign on the dotted line that I'm going to remove my contingencies. Okay? Rebecca.
So I wanted to add something regarding the termite. I'm seeing a lot of purchase agreements coming over with no termite being asked. If you guys are going to accept a termite report and maybe it's going to be added into the transaction after you've already agreed to your contract, it must be in an addendum.
Rebecca's picking on me, guys, but that's okay. No, she's good. We actually had one just like that. It literally just happened. It wasn't in the contract. And so we did have to complete the addendum to add it in there so that escrow knows how to pay these people. Okay, that's the reason why it needs to be there, because escrow's gonna be like, okay, so now this is here. Who's paying for what and how's it being done? Because escrow's third party. They don't make any decisions. Remember, this is critical for you to understand. I want to pause here. Escrow is just a third party in the middle. They don't make any decisions. They are guided by you, the agents, and the buyer and seller. So when an escrow, when a termite report comes in and it's $500 worth of work to be done, they need to know who's paying for that, and it has to be in writing and signed by both parties. Okay? Don't let escrow make any decisions for you. It could cost you money. They're not supposed to. All right? Moving right along, you got your inspection period for 17 days. It is standard. In this climate, we know that has been reduced sometimes to 14, to 10, to 7 for your buyers to do their inspections. That inspection, of course, includes reviewing all the disclosures we talked about, going out and doing their home inspection. Some homes have wells, some homes have septics, some homes have land that needs to have a survey done. All of that is for you to complete during that time period. You're also going to complete your AVID during that time period as well. And then, of course, this big one right here. All right, because everybody's always got something that's broken that they want fixed, right? Can you see that? Request for any repairs. During that time period, you want to send that out and get that negotiated. Who's paying for what, how it's going to be done. Are they going to give you a credit in lieu of those repairs? Send out your RR, wait to see what comes back, have that conversation. It's not
One-
going to be necessarily done, but you can ask. Go ahead, Rebecca, you had something to share.
So I've been asked this a few times. You guys, the home inspection report, that is given to the other side. New agents are always asking me, do I have to give it? Yes. The answer is yes, you have to give it to them. If you're not doing a request for repair, do you still have to give it to them? The answer is yes, you still give it to them. Whether you're asking for repairs or not, home inspection report goes to the listing side. That's a standard, everybody does it. And if you are asking for a request for repair, keep in mind a few things. Seller does not have to respond, okay? If you want a credit that you're asking for on a request for repair, you have to create an addendum. You do not want to ever send a request for repair to escrow or to the lender. You never want them to see your issues that are with the property. Any credit always goes on an addendum. They sign the addendum once everything's agreed to, and the addendum goes to escrow and to the lender so that everybody is on the same page as to what's happening. You never, ever, ever put on your addendum credit in lieu of repairs. That's a no-no. It must be for recurring, non-recurring closing costs.
Great information. Thank you so much for sharing that critical piece there. You don't want lenders knowing anything about anything that's broken on a home, because they'll turn around and make you fix things that maybe necessarily the seller was okay not fixing and the buyer was okay the way that it was. So great information. Thank you so much for sharing that. Rebecca, as we've added it here so that you know, you're sending the home inspection with the request for repairs. And if you don't even have a request for repairs, and it does state in the contract, I can't remember which paragraph it is right now, that the home inspection is actually property to the seller of the property. What's not property to them is the appraisal. Appraisal comes in. Do you have to share the appraisal with the seller? Answer is a no, right? We offered 303 and it came in at 315. For us, right? We walked into some equity, right? That's the way that works. You're not going to disclose that or share that with the seller side. You're going to say appraisal's good, right? That's all. Appraisal's good, and rock on. All right, and there you go. Let your clients know, hey, we scored on this one here. It could happen in this crazy market. All right. The next thing you want to do, of course, is order your home warranty. And you see, I put these dates on here. Now, maybe you're not keeping a calendar. I don't know how you're working, but if you've got this attached to every file that you've got, you know when your contract was accepted. So you're going to know when your day 17 is for your contingencies to be removed. If it has been changed in any way, you need to adjust that to know that you've got 14 or 10 days, whatever the case may be, on your calendar. So you can be guiding your clients along and say, hey, time is running out. We need to get these inspections done because they're going to send over their contingency removal and we need to proceed because how many ways, or what are the two ways? Because there's only two. What are the two ways, who can help me, that a seller can cancel a contract? There's only two ways that a seller can cancel a contract besides Felipe.
Page 6 of your RPA.
All right. There's two ways that a seller can cancel a contract. Number one is you do not remove your contingencies as you were supposed to, the time frame. And then the second one is actually not performing contractually to your contract. All right, only two ways that a seller can cancel, and of course that's in your, that worked out perfect. That's in your RPA. I needed to plug in my computer because it's dying and I just threw the cord underneath it. Yeah, it worked out great. First try. Very good. So write that down on your calendar and know the date. And then of course, after that's going to come final loan approval. Once you have final loan approval, you want to get this done in that 21 days if possible, then you will release your contingency for your loan. If you do not have it, I strongly recommend that you have a conversation with the other side to let them know you're still working on it, because If you remove your contingency for your loan and you can't close, is it a high probability that the seller is going to keep that earnest money? If you remove your contingency.
Yes,
Praveen, yes? Marisol?
yes.
Yes, because you remove your contingencies. As long as those contingencies are in place, you're protecting your client's earnest money. When they sign on the dotted line, it's a done deal, pretty much. Not guaranteed, but pretty much done deal that bye-bye earnest money, you need to close on that property. All right? So write down that date as well. Critical piece, Marianne actually brought this up in our last one, and so we've got it over here as well. When someone moves into a home, you have to turn on utilities. But if someone's moving from San Diego up here to Riverside County, do they know who the water company is, the electric company is, the gas company is, the cable companies, any of that? Are they going to necessarily know that? You are a rock star because we have our concierge program that helps you to get this done, right? Our free concierge program that will help get that done. You just need to make sure that they're registered there so that they can get all of the information needed so that you look like a rock star to get all of that turned on, all right? So utilize the wonderful tools that Felipe and the team have brought to Century 21 Preferred so that you can outshine the competition and that your clients, again, expectations can be exceeded because they show up and say, oh yeah, what's gonna happen with the utilities? Don't worry, boom, already done. They probably won't even call you because the concierge is gonna call them and set it all up. You guys are moving, this is your address. What date are you closing escrow? We'll have it turned on here, set up all the accounts for them, all right? So critical pieces there that you do not want to forget. That's why we've put it on this checklist. All righty, we're moving down to verification of property. You guys are almost done. Verification of property happens 5 days prior to the close of escrow. You're going to walk that property and make sure that it's in the same condition it was when you first saw it. Okay? This is not contingent on the sale of the home, your verification of property. So if something is out of place, these are things that have to be negotiated, but you still should be moving forward with the close of that property. All right? If it's burned down, of course, very sure. Felipe, you got something you want to share?
Yeah, just on that note, also just a reminder that you're not only making sure the home is in the same condition, but it's a great opportunity for you to check if you had asked for repairs, that they were done, because they're supposed to be done prior to close of escrow. And if they're not done, then you can take some steps to make sure that your clients are protected at that point. So, but as David mentioned, it's not necessarily a contingency of the sale, but it is an opportunity to tell everybody to pump the brakes, right? We got to get this stuff resolved prior to close of escrow.
There it is. You don't want to close escrow when things aren't done because once it's closed, it's theirs. Okay, seller's gone.
And
So,
David, going back to the utilities, do you have anywhere on here about the mailbox key? Because that's one of the big items that we always forget at the end of the sale is where's the mailbox and where's the key?
Let's go ahead and add that in there.
I'm not sure if
I
you
will
had
make
it.
sure. Because that's a great one. It's often happened where they've left and they didn't leave the mailbox key or like the key fob to the gate as well. I think it's key fob to the gate. Those get forgotten sometimes. And so you want to make sure that those are where they're supposed to be. All right. Very good. Thank you so much.
One more thing. So Melissa wants to add something. Sorry.
Melissa, what's up?
Hi, I'm sorry, did you guys happen to go over the dash form yet?
No, actually, we did not. Did I miss that one? It's on here.
I thought it was on there.
I went right past it. I'm so sorry, everybody.
Unbelievable. No, I'm just kidding. It's okay. So really quick, you guys, just so you know, when your listing goes into escrow or you have a purchase, if you don't complete one of these and email it to me, I don't know about it. So that means, yeah, I don't know about the escrow. So that means that your documentation isn't being uploaded anywhere, that the company has no knowledge of your transaction. If you don't do this, it complicates things a lot. So please make sure you fill this out. And also something that's really important, if you have a listing and you're representing, you're obviously representing the seller and you don't check MLS mailings, yes or no, that means we don't know if you guys want to advertise a just sold postcard once escrow closes. So sometimes I'll have you guys, email me or call me about how you didn't get a postcard, but if it's not checked, then we're not going to know. Also, whoever you're representing, make sure you put their email on here. We do this for the surveys, so when escrow closes, they will get an email to fill out a survey for you, which now with KV Core, reviews are gonna be connected with KV Core. So when clients go into your website, they can see these reviews.
Mhm.
And that's gonna be something really important. If you guys want to prospect, you want more clients, you wanna show that you're a good agent, you wanna make sure that you're putting your client's email on the dash form so they can fill out that survey for you. And I think, oh, and when your dash goes in, or not your dash, when you are ready to do final and an initial and final review, you have to fill out the review link. So this is on the Facebook page if you need it. If you have a TC, they're gonna do this for you. But make sure that you guys are utilizing that link, because what happens is I'm not notified when you guys upload your documents. So that means I don't know they're ready to be reviewed, and I can't say, hey, you're missing a signature here, you're missing a signature there. So we want to make sure that we're in compliance with our documentation. If you do have an outside TC, please talk to me and I'll provide the form for you to send to your outside TC, because there's things we do specifically with our brokerage. And sometimes those outside TCs don't know about it. It is on our Facebook page, but if you want it direct, just go ahead and contact me.
Great information. Thank you so much, Melissa, for sharing that. As you guys notice, as we're going through this training and we have a checklist, I passed right over the dash box. All right. That's why we created the checklist, because that way we don't miss things. All right. So without the checklist, imagine where we'd be. Right. So with the checklist, as you're going to continually check, you're going to realize, wait, there's a box that I didn't check. Oh, I didn't do my dash form. Right. So you're going to get those things done. Again, that's why we've created these. So you should have these attached to every single file so that you don't miss anything. All right. So thank you so much, Melissa, for bringing us up to speed on that one right there. So it was not missed. Thank you so much. We were down to final sky slope review. So right before you sign docs, you want to send this over for a sky slope review. Make sure that that is, it's actually not your final, it's your, Rebecca, tell me correctly, if you would, please. The final the initial, when are we sending our
Can you hear me?
initial sky slope review? I can hear you. When are we sending our initial review for sky slope? Make sure we got this right.
Julie, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. I try to do my initial review when I only have my closing docs, which means my BP, my closing statement, and things like that. I try to do that at least a week, if not before, because sometimes I have files where things are done way ahead and we're just waiting for closing. So the sooner the better, because it allows the agent to go back to the client and get any missed answers, any missed signatures, any missed disclosures. It's really hard to get these items if the transaction is closed. So these reviews will help if you get them in a timely manner.
So your initial sky slope review is sent.
I send it to, I click the link and I just fill it in and I put in when my close of escrow date is, and then I do my initial review at least a week before, if not sooner.
Okay. We're just going to add that in here so that everybody sees it 1 week prior to close. Okay. Very good. Thank you so much for that. Then your buyer is going to sign their loan docs. Once they sign their loan docs, it's going to fund. They're going to send in their monies, whatever it is that they're paying, as well as the lender is going to send over their money to escrow. At that point, then it's going to record. Okay, so this is a critical piece for all of my buyers agents out there. Okay, when do you turn over keys? After they've signed loan docs, A. After it has funded, B. Or after it is recorded with the county, C. Correct answer, Marisol. A, B, or C.
After it's recorded with the county?
After it's recorded with the county, great answer, very good. No keys are given to any buyers until after you've recorded with the county because it is not a finalized sale. All right, so thank you so much. I knew you guys were also smart and paying attention, so thank you so much for that. After it's recorded with the county, you've turned over their keys. You're also going to submit your final review to the admin for SkySlow. You're going to make sure that all your emails and your communication log, if you're doing one, are uploaded there as well. I would encourage you to do this. This is happening sometimes where you get to the home and unfortunately, the seller decided to leave some things behind. You want to exceed the expectations of your buyer. And so I would encourage you to stop by the property first. See what the condition of the home is so that if things need to be cleared out or cleaned up, they just left a mess, you can get that squared away so that when you meet them at the home with the keys, the home is ready for them to move in. If you guys had scheduled for some type of cleaning to be done, make sure that that's all completed as well. And so that's why we've put this on the checklist because unfortunately it's happened to myself where I had a buyer, we showed up, it was like, what happened here? Like they didn't even take all the stuff out of the garage, they didn't sweep. That's something that we can knock out or send a handyman or somebody over to knock out. So again, that our clients are able to easily move in all their stuff. Nobody wants to clean up after someone else. All right. Especially with COVID, right? I highly recommend that either side, somebody decide to get some that home sanitized and clean so that it's ready for that new family to move in. Okay. After that's all done, you close escrow, you get paid. All that work, right? And everyone thought that selling real estate, you just simply like, show 2 or 3 homes and then boom, you got, $20,000 check, right? And it was a done deal. No, that's a list of everything that we have to do. And of course, we know that as we're doing it, it takes a while to close these transactions, 30, 45 days, sometimes 60, sometimes 6 months. It depends on the transaction and what's going on. I've got a couple of tips for you here as we close up. After you close, I encourage you to find a good closing gift for your clients so that they remember you. If you haven't spoken to Eric Gilman at Cutco, they've got some really great products over there. So I encourage you. That's what I use. They're awesome. But get a cool closing gift for your client. Ask them to complete the survey. You want reviews. Melissa already said, make sure that email address is on your dash form so that they can create that review to say, hey, you're a rock star agent. We loved Perveen. Marisol was the greatest, right? So that you can put that on your website and so that everyone else can see. I literally have a client that I'm working with right now. Somehow he found me, right? And he says, I went online and I looked you up. And then I seen all your reviews and I was like, that's the guy for me. Because of those cool reviews that my other clients have left. So make sure that you get those so that others can see it as well. Sign them up for the preferred client club with Century 21 online. That's another great product for them. Pay for it right there at the close of escrow. You'll never be hurt by it. That's going to take your clients. It's either 3 years, 5 years, 7 years. Those are great programs. We're not going to go over that in this training today. Just jump on 21 online. You can see more about that one. Follow up afterwards with the week after their closing. Just a recommendation. How was everything? Is there anything that you need at the home? Continue to provide that great quality service you did during the transaction. Another one is a great survey. I know Jennifer Holquist does this one, where she sends out a survey of their kids' names and their ages and their pets and favorite drinks and sports teams and all that. It's great ways for you to be able to reach back out to have a conversation to build rapport, because when their team wins the championship, whatever, you can say, hey, Carl, congratulations. Again, reasons to be able to just maintain communication with your clients. So get to know them a little bit better is the whole purpose of that survey. Quarterly, stop by, say hello, see how they're doing. And then last but not least, because it is 12 o'clock and I want to get you guys out of here, this one right here. Okay, that right there is your money maker. I'm actually going to change the color to green. Oh, man, it didn't do right. It's not working for me. There it is. Ask for referrals. 80% of this business is built on relationships and referrals. So make sure that you are asking for those referrals and that you're getting it so that you can continue to grow your business. This right here, as it says in our disclaimer, is based on a standard sale. If it's a probate, a short sale, a foreclosure, manufactured homes, there's additional disclosures that go with that. So make sure that you familiarize yourself with those in those transactions. If you don't know, reach out to us, the training team, myself, Felipe, Rebecca, we're all here to assist you so that you can be the rock star agents that the industry needs and wants. All right. Any other questions about anything that I've covered so far? Perveen, Marisol, or I don't know, Felipe, Rebecca, did I forget anything? Hopefully we got it all covered.
Yeah, it's a great list, good information, and every deal is going to be different. So just take this, like he said, as a standard sale, and take lots of notes, you guys. But just keep in mind, it's about offering excellent service, and it doesn't stop after the sale, as David mentioned.
That's it. So I'm going to provide this to you. It's going to come in an email, like the contract to close for the seller. You've got the contract to close with the buyer. We went through this one a little bit faster than we did with the seller one. That took us 2 trainings, but it's because some of the stuff is similar. So hopefully, if there's anything you felt we went too fast on, go back and review this training. Go back and review the 2 for the seller so that you're familiar. Take this, print it, put it on the front of every single transaction you have. You check the boxes. When all the boxes are checked, you're done, and you've done a great job. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming out to our training today. More great stuff in store. We will see you all next time.
Yeah, David, thank